You don't become a leader just because you have a coach. You are aware of that, aren't you? You don't become a leader just because you have a world-renowned leadership coach. Hi there, I am Rafiat Adekunle. I am a transformational executive and leadership coach and founder of Free to Sub Coaching Program. Welcome to the next in my series of Walk With Me videos. These are short videos where I share how God and His Word help me navigate my life circumstances and situations and how those have brought me to where I am right now. I do that in the hope that in one small way it will help you become all of who you want to be. So I guess it might sound a little strange to hear a leadership coach say you don't become a leader just because you have a coach. But that is the truth of the matter. In the same vein that my having a Ferrari in my garage, which I don't, will not make me a Formula One driver. And no matter how expensive those ballet shoes I get or the most expensive ballet class I go to, I will not become a world-renowned ballet dancer. Why? Because I don't believe that I am that person. So what those things do, just as a coach is they open up a space for you to tap into what's within you and then become what you want to become. And for me, I sort of use the foundations of a VIP. So are you a VIP, or have you embraced the VIP in you? The V stands for your vision. What is it you want to do, become, or give to the world? The I stands for your identity. Who are you as a person? And who are you in that scenario? And the P is the purpose, the why, the motivation, the reason, the what you're bringing, what is it, the outcome, what you want to give. And if we don't understand the VIP and embrace the VIP in us, then it doesn't really matter who coaches you or who mentors you, because until you become to embrace all of those things and also believe in yourself that you're able to create that vision, then it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And I learned this in so many different ways, but I feel led to share with you in the context of being a mother. So when we started growing our family and we had 2 children, I was totally guilt-ridden by not being the present at home 24-hour mother. I mean, my mother was a full-time housewife mother, and she was a sewing mistress on the side, but mom was always there, mama was always there. And I had that as my template. And so not being able to be there for my children was a guilt trip for me. And also, even in the UK, you had lots of mums who weren't working, who therefore could be there for the children and could do all those things with the children. Well, mine had to go to the preschool club and the post-school club and then go to a childminder on nights that maybe I was going to be on call. It wasn't easy. However, it came to a point that I was so upset and I was crying to the Lord, and I said, you know what, God, I'm not even sure I can do this mothering thing. And that was when He explained to me, right, He said, I created you to have dominion over the things I created. but not human beings. So you won't have dominion over your children. Another word for dominion is having the authority, having the power, the control. Isn't that what leaders do? Have the authority, have the power and the control. Well, he said, you will not be controlling your children, but you have the authority and the power and the control over things around them. But most importantly, you will have the authority and the power and the control over yourself. Because until you conquer yourself and know yourself, it doesn't matter. You will not be able to step into all that I have created you to be. Which means, therefore, I will never be able to step into all that I want to create or be in my life. And it was when I understood that, I then understood that the vision as a mother is to bring up children who can live independent, fulful lives, safe lives, knowing that they're loved, they're valued, and they're cherished. And living their lives according to God's way, who created them for a purpose, because we are all created for a purpose. So my job was not to determine the purpose or the life's journey of my children. My job was to be their co-pilot, guiding them and mentoring them along the way. So having the clarity about that vision was very important. And then I also needed to understand my identity. I was their mother. I wasn't meant to be their friend. And I say that, and that may come across as, what do you mean? Well, as a mother, I will speak hard truths to my children, but I will speak it in love. As a friend, I would tell them, oh, it's okay, don't worry. No. We need to speak life and truth into our children's lives. So understanding that was pivotal for me and also for my children, because I remember once telling my daughter, you know what, girl? My job is to be a mother. My being your friend is an added bonus. It is not an essential criteria. It is desirable. But I hope and pray that in being your mother from a place of love and honor and respect, that we will be friends. And the third thing was understanding my purpose as a mother. So my purpose was not to be a fixer. My purpose was not to be a constant persecutor of my children, bringing up all the things that weren't doing right. Neither was it to cover what they were not doing right. But my purpose was to help them know the truths of life at an early age, show the example in the house, that I walk the walk and not just talk the talk, and trust that they have within themselves the ability, once they're mature enough, to choose their path. Now, their path may not be the path I would have wanted for them. The path may not be the path that I think is right for them. But that was not my job description. So as a leader in my home, I had to first lead myself. To be able to be patient, to be able to be vulnerable, to be able to challenge them in a safe space, to be able to nurture them, but also to be able to correct them. And that sort of brings round again that the VIP concept. If I did not fully understand and embrace my VIP space as a mother, then I would continually have been guilt-ridden, because I would have felt I should be doing more than I needed to do. Yes, would it have been lovely to have been there for every season of their life? Absolutely. But that wasn't the journey that God had planned for me. Has it made them turn out to be terrible adults? No. In actual fact, some aspects of it has made them so independent. It breaks my heart as a mother. Okay. So let's bring this back to maybe a work situation. If I have a coach as a leader, and I go into my setting and I talk about a challenge I have, but I am not prepared to actually look inwards to see where maybe I may be the one that's an obstacle to my growth and progress, then it's not going to make a difference, really, is it? If I'm not open to exploring and discovering myself, if I'm not open to have clarity about the vision that I want, what is it I want to create in my organization, if I'm not open to understand my identity in that vision, am I the visionary, or am I the person who's going to have to act it out, or am I going to be the project manager for that particular vision? There needs to be clarity, because you cannot be everything. And if I don't understand the actual purpose and the outcome that I want from that particular project or idea, then how can I enable and empower my team members to fly with it? If, however, I understood all of those things and embraced all of those things from my own understanding of self, and if I can conquer myself in those things, then it is so much easier to be able to step back and let those who are great at other aspects deal with those. Understanding that as a visionary, you need to keep a look at what's going on and not be right into it. Now, do you need a coach to be a leader? Maybe not. You may need a mentor. But ever so often, you will need that space to be able to, that safe space, to be able to reconnect with your VIP. Because once you reconnect with your VIP, then it's easier for you, therefore, to be able to manage the other things that may be involved in you actually creating that dream or that project or that idea or that expansion that you're wanting. And that would involve a slight shift in your balance, in your work-life harmony. It may well involve a little bit of getting confidence in some area that you're stepping into an area of growth in. It may involve actually having to break some barriers and build some bridges and, pulling other people who maybe you're not so sure, but you can see something great in them, that they have what you need to make that project go forward. And it will also involve you being your true voice. And you will be able to stand in your true voice and say, hey, you know what? I'm absolutely pants at this, but you were great at it. And because of this purpose that we all understand, we can work together. So, I started off with, you don't become a leader because you have a coach. However, having one, I make the journey more enjoyable, shorter. But the key thing is you. You are the only one standing between where you are now and your dream. And if you can just embrace your VIP, then you are halfway down the road. Okay. That's enough of my musing for today. I look forward to seeing you at the next video. And as always, if you found this useful, please click the like button, click the subscribe button, and share, because there will be somebody, one person in your own circle of influence, that this is what they may well need to hear for today. So, shall I see you the next time? Keep smiling.